So I'm James Marsden, Managing Director of FuturLab, and we're here at Eurogamer Expo showcasing Velocity 2X.
Fantastic. So we were talking a little bit after I played Velocity 2X, which is fantastic. Really enjoyed that. And you started on the original Velocity a few years ago,
2011.
2011.
Published in 2012.
Right. And it's always been, the studio has been quite compact, and you're talking about upscaling for 2X. So what size studio have you been, and what have you kind of gone up to?
So Velocity was made with 3 core staff, and then for about a period of about a year and a half, and then we got a PlayStation Plus deal to help us finish it, and we used a bunch of freelancers. So core team of 3, and then Sony asked us to make a sequel, so we've staffed up to 10 plus 3 freelancers. So it's 13 staff working on the game full time.
So what was the reason for upscaling to a larger team? Was it simply that the platform was more high definition? Obviously, your Velocity was originally PSP, and Velocity 2X and Velocity Ultra are obviously HD for the Vita. Is it simply that you've got more art assets to worry about, or?
It's more that we needed specialist skills. So Velocity 1 was made by myself, Kirsty Rigdon and Robin Jubba. Robin did all the programming himself. We really needed someone who was a specialist in engine development. Robin's a gameplay programmer, which is why the game didn't look particularly special, but it played really great.
Yeah, definitely.
So what we needed is an engine programmer. So we got a contractor there, and we needed to find someone who could do visual effects really fantastically. So we hired Hussein Sheikh, who was the lead visual effects programmer on Split Second. And then we really didn't have any artists in the studio, so we needed to hire a team of artists to realise the vision we had for the sequel, which is just a grander scale.
Okay. So we were talking earlier a little bit about upscaling safely.
Yeah.
So what's sort of your definition of upscaling safely? Because I think that's something that we hear a lot of horror stories about independent developers who are like, they'll get like a big contract with somebody that they've never thought that they've been able to would never have given them work before,
yeah.
And then suddenly they hire 1 billion people and then they fold because they don't understand. Like, so how do you upscale safely?
Okay, so just a little bit of backstory. We were working on a project for Sony in 2007, early 2008. An ARG for one of their big AAA titles, like a marketing campaign kind of thing. And they signed us up for a year and a half, and we thought that was it. We thought we were made. And so we got a lease on a 9-year lease on a building, 3 floors, and we staffed up, and they canned it. And so I had to sack everybody, and I was rattling around in that office on 3 floors by myself for about 12 months, desperately doing flash work to try and pay the rent, whilst Coconut Dodge was being made. So I've been there and done stupid things in the past. And so this time, when Sony said, would you like to, we're going to sign this up and give you some decent money to do a good job of it. What I didn't want to do was do the same thing and risk people's livelihoods, basically. So what we did, when we thought about how to scale up the game, how to scale up the experience, we looked at the mechanics we had that were solid. And we thought, if we combine it with a platforming game where the basic controls are pretty similar, the formats are pretty similar, the only real difference between a platforming game and a top-down game is gravity. If we apply exactly the same mechanics to a platformer, we know that's going to work. We can guarantee that's going to be a successful, interesting experience for players. So if we throw a load of awesome art at it and put a story in there and get Yoris Demand to work on a bigger soundtrack, then we've got a winner.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm willing to risk people's wages on. So I hope that answers the question.
So it's kind of taking a core idea that a small team has created, and then bring in more staff, more ideas, more individuals to make it, to beautify it, to make it even more special.
Yeah, to realise the potential of the mechanics, I think. So we knew we had something special with velocity, but we just didn't have the amount of resources to do it justice. And so we're really delighted to be able to do the vision justice. And it struck a chord with gamers, and we'd like to continue developing the IP and building the universe, and we're looking at ways to do that.